Hey folks, welcome to a retro CSS battle. This is from August 16th, 2024, and this charming panda bear I have never been able to do to 100% match. I've got plenty of solutions, none that hit 100%. Let's see if I can get to 100% today. All right, so what I want to do is create multiple elements to try to encompass actually I don't know how I'm going to solve this. This is so tricky that I'm not actually sure, but let's go for it. Let's just, the only way to do it is do it, so we'll do it. Let's start with these ears, and because we've got circles behind circles, right, we have effectively a negative space of the panda's head. Let's start with a radial gradient. Circle, color, like so. And oh, actually, we don't want that color. We want this color, the white. I want to put black in the background. Okay. So is this circle centered? That's our first question, I guess. And it looks like it might be. Right? So 95. 95 is the radius of that. So if we do that, then we can then do, if these are circles, I hope they are, we can create an ear, E, dash dash E, radial gradient, radial dash gradient, circle, circle, to transparent, and he's like, 20 pixels radius, something like that. Semicolon, and we'll put him on top to start because we'd like to be able to see it, and then it's about the positioning. So var dash dash E, comma, there he is. It looks like it's a little small. Let's make it 30, and then we'll move him around, right? Minus 10, minus 50 pixels, and then another negative number to move him up. Something along those lines. A little more. 6, 7, 8, 75 maybe. And then also 75. Nope. 70. How about 76, 77 on the x-axis? Maybe 78. 76. Oh, see? So tricky. Just kind of tricky. All right, so let's do a comma, and that's an ear. If I put this color on the background, you can see it's just not matching. All right, so what can we do to adjust him? Do we need to adjust his width or his placement? Maybe 0.5. How about 77.5? That's a little better. How about 70.5? And that's a little better also. I'm going to go with that. I don't know. The question for me is whether I'm going to post this, whether I get to 100% or not. Maybe not. All right, well, let's do these same numbers, but we'll do them the positive numbers. I know we've got a little bit of foreshortening there, so it's maybe not as high, but I think it's the same shape. So that'll be positive, and this is less negative. How about 60? And we'll undo the, so this axis is the one we care about. For 70, 69, 61, 62. I mean, I kind of see it. It seems right. Sure seems close. All right, let's time to start. All right, so we got 2 ears. Let's do 2 eyes. I think when I was doing this before, I was trying to do, well, I don't know. I kind of don't want to speak too much to what I was trying to do because I was not able to do it. Margin down 100, 200 on the side, 0 on the bottom, 100. Background of this color. So there. So now we're going to use margins and the height to twist him. So we won't cover that eye, but we just want to be at the very edges of it. And then what I'd like to do is use border radius to adapt it. Okay, so the height 50, 60. That looks pretty good. 210. No. 201, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad. 110, 20. Nope. 119. All right. How about a border radius? Border radius. And each one of these numbers is different. I'm going to do 0, 0, 0, 0 to start. And let's do 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 36, 35, 36. 36 looks best. One at a time. 20, 21, 22. That looks okay. And then next. Could it be 22 pixels again? Nope. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 30 I think is good. Let's try, I'll start at 20 for the last one. 20, 21, 22, 23, 22, 21, 22 looks okay. So that's eye number 1. And that's a paragraph tag. And I'm not going to worry about the dot on him yet, the eyeball. Let's do a second one. B. And already the way margin collapse works, this second element is disrupted the background. So to fix that, we need to adjust these margins. And probably these are going to be flopped. So this 205 goes here, and then this 119 goes here. And I think we need this margin to be what, 0? Something like that. Or negative, probably negative. So apologies for the shift there. Okay, so minus 60. Okay. Is he symmetrical? Is he just the same border radiuses, but not quite? Can I swap him? Scale -1? Or scale 1 -1? No, of course. Of course not. He's he's a different shape. Or wait, no, the -1, 1. Is that the same shape? Maybe. Let's increase this number, 120, and 204. How about 121? 120. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Not excited about that. All right, let's before we tackle the nose, let's do the eye. Let's finish the eyes. How about a radial gradient, which is a circle. I believe that is a circle. We got to spell circle correctly. Ha ha. With transparent 10 pixels, and then the black color. So there's a circle. Too big, although you get a nice effect there. How about 8 pixels? 8 could be right. And then I'm going to variabilize this location. Because we're flopping the second eye over the x-axis, the position here is going to, we're going to make him cross-eyed when I do this. 10, 15, 14, and then down 10 pixels. 15, 14.5 maybe, 11, 12, 11. So I'm going to variabilize him. Var dash dash P for position. Okay, and then in this guy, I'm going to set a position P, and I guess it's probably going to be negative 14.5 pixels, 11 pixels. Close, but of course not right. That would be too easy. 13, 14, 15, 16, and then down 10, 11, 12. Okie doke. Sure seems close. This nose is I remember this nose. He's difficult. All right, so here's the nose. The nose is going to be P, and we'll just call it N because why not? Normally I just do A, B, C, B, C, you know, but we'll be cute and do N for nose. So this next element, and his height is short, right? His height is like 20 or something. And his background, I'm going to give a background in red so I can see him. And then his margin is what? Margin minus 100 on the top. No, minus 50 or something. 30, 20, 0, 0, 0. So I do all the 4 margins, and then we need to narrow him in. Is it just 0? No, it's actually positive 10 because the prior one has a negative 60 margin, so we're overcoming that. That's why it's what it is. All right. So it's possible this needs to be taller than it really is because we're going to use the curves of a border radius maybe to get these shapes, and then use a linear gradient to be transparent on the top and then fill in, because really this is an oval shape that we're only coloring part of. So is that what I'm going to do? We got to decide. I'm going to start with a border radius of 0. Border so border radius 0. Height we'll call 30. 5, 4, 3. Undo. We're going to have that background color be that black. We still need to do some. Probably can get away with one number here. 100, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72. And what if we do that border radius? What if we do 50%? Oh, wow. What's my oh wow? My oh wow is the way we might be able to do this. This might be correct. There's definitely I have been burned before by these guys. These problem 99.9% dudes. 10 pixels. We'll create the color stop, and I'm going to submit this. If it's 100%, I will be shocked and delighted. And it is 99.9% match. Now, but this, I mean, we have matched it pretty well. So looking visually, the eyeballs might be a bit big. And when I say eyeballs, just the I guess the pupils. And it's sort of abstracted, right? Because on a real panda, like, the coloration is much bigger than their eyes. Their eyes are rather small, and this is a stylized panda. You know, it's really just all shapes, but human beings, we can't help but see. So if this is 7.5 in size. Uh, 14, 15. Oh man. So all of this is almost right. And it's pretty frustrating. What if we do, so I mean, I really don't know where to begin adjusting these. So so that's the covering. So that seems good. Yeah, you know, I did make the eyeball a little smaller. How about, let's go like super wrong number, 6. And let's go 7. Because okay, so what if we do that? And then just make sure we center perfectly. So 4.5. Yeah, okay, so one strategy is because the edges are so visually tricky, if we can visually center each of these eyes then maybe 0.5, and then we grow 6, 7, 6, 0.1, 0.6, 0.7, 8, 9, 7.1, 2, 0.3 pixels, 0.25 pixels, 3.4. Yeah, I definitely am losing hope for 100% match. I'm very happy that I got here so fast. It does seem like a pretty good pretty good match. And then I see some of the edges of this, so maybe the flopping is a bad idea. Let's not do the scaling. And let's copy the border radius there. And I think that means we're flopping the first two numbers and flopping the second two numbers as well. And that looks pretty good. And that means these numbers are wrong. 14, 15, 16, 7.5, 6. All right, let's submit that. Yeah. What else can we do? I don't think there's anything to adjust on the ears. I think I'm at the limit of what I can do with the eyes. I mean, one thing maybe, what if I did another linear gradient, another radial gradient on the eyeballs? And for this one, I do white, and then transparent, and then moved him over. So what have I done there? Really, I'm thinking about doubling that edge, is what I'm thinking. So it's going to be a very similar number to that. So I'm going to copy this and then adjust it by a little. $15. And we're going to variabilize that as well. Var dash Q, because why? Q, the question is why. And then we're going to change it for the second one. Dash Q. And I'm going to copy what I've got, what I'm doing in the first one, and then adjust. So over again, 16.5. Let's submit that. 99.9%. Yeah. All right. So how about these? 7. That's a little better. 3, 4. Submit that. I'm just gonna keep submitting. I mean, I'm not giving up yet. Okay. So here's where I wonder if the browser has an effect. Okay, folks, so I think that's where I'm going to end it. I tried it in Firefox. I started to log into Chrome, and then my machine started to grind to a halt because my Chrome installation is not happy, and I don't log in on these things, and so I got to do GitHub, and then I do the password and all this kind of stuff that if I had planned to do a Chrome login, I'd have done that before this video, and you don't need to see me logging into systems and doing two-factor auth. So this is the Panda Bear. It is disappointing that I could not get to 100%. It is not surprising to me that I didn't get to 100%, but it is disappointing. And there's not much more to say than that. I think it's a great puzzle. It's a great shape. I think I accomplished basically all the shapes. It's just wrong at some of the curves, which is sort of why some of these the more complicated shapes are a lot more suitable for the battles where you really are, tuning it. I would like to use basic shapes and basic curves to get these, but clearly it's not quite doing it. I mean, maybe if some of these things were rotated or other modifications were made, it would work a little bit better, but in this case it's just not getting it done. I mean, that said, is it possible that I could pull a win? Last try. No, I don't think so. 0.5, 6. I'm just gonna do one last submission. So a bunch of other things were trimmed out of this video, and hopefully you can forgive me for that. Yeah, 99.9%, and that's where it aligned, and that's all good. CSS is still great. I mean, it's kind of amazing that 3 paragraph tags can make, and an HTML body can make this very elaborate Panda, but not to the satisfaction of the CSS Battle servers. It's all good. It's all good. Go make a web page. Everybody's got a web browser. Be good to each other. It's rough out there. Bye-bye.